It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America and around the planet, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. Oh, my gosh. Eric, I just saw this on X from the Trump war room.
Yeah?
When Kamala finally gives an interview, can she explain what a hoo-hoo is?
That's from the article we brought you. It's a fresh article from the New York Post.
Yep. New York Post talking about that if you apply for a job in the Harris campaign, there are 9 different pronouns. He, him, she, her, they, them. Is it she, them, z, her, I, is it her?
Yeah.
Z, her, I, am.
Or here, I think H-I-R is.
H-I-R, here.
I think it's here.
Here. Z, here, I, am, here, fay, far, hoo.
And doo-dah.
We're not making this up.
No.
We're not making it up. This is Harris for President, where you attach your resume. Now, they went, of course, the Trump campaign, hoo-hoo. You're like, what the hell's a hoo-hoo? But this is perfect.
Oh,
this is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing unless you're driving.
Right.
Because we went, well, what gender classification is a hoo-hoo? It's not a hoo-hoo. They've gone beyond gender classifications. If you're a hoo-hoo, which is H-U-H-U, if you're a hoo-hoo, that means you favor your humanity over your gender.
Well, yeah, you're more of you want to promote your humanitarianism.
Yes. You want to promote your humanitarianism over your gender.
Which makes you a better person than everybody, all of the other...
The other people are just selfish.
The other 8 pronouns don't matter anymore. By the way, we knew this would end. Who was making them all irrelevant?
Well, it is, because gender doesn't matter. Humanity matters, which we thought was the most beautiful thing ever, because you knew it had to come to this. Okay, promoting our gender isn't enough. We have to virtue signal in the same way. And this is how we do it. Hoo-hoo. Hoo-hoo. Yes, my humanity is more important than my gender.
Well, your humanitarianism, which goes even further. I care more about everybody else than you do.
Right.
I'm a humanitarian.
Right. Yes. You're just a gender.
Now,
I'm a humanitarian and a particular gender that I can't describe.
I thought that basically was, people who ate other people. If you're a vegetarian, you eat vegetables. If you're a humanitarian, you clearly eat humans. I was wrong. Growing up, I was wrong. I had that wrong. My bad. But now, see, that's the ultimate leftist virtue signaling.
I know. Identity.
I'm a great, yeah.
The gender identity.
I'm going to virtue signal through my identity, and that will be. Man, we got to find out if somebody on LinkedIn has that as their preferred pronoun.
But maybe that's progress.
Lean forward.
Even if. If you're promoting your, if you're a narcissist promoting that you are a humanitarian over your identity, you may be a narcissist, but you're less focused on the identity portion.
Yeah.
And more on how you're such a great, the self-promotion on how you are a humanitarian.
Right.
Oh, my God. Democrats, come on. How do you put it? If you're a Democrat voter, how do you deal with this insanity? How do you justify it in your mind? Democrats will never answer this because I know right now, Democrats listening right now knows that this is a load of horse manure.
By the way, if
you know it.
If you're a humanitarian, sorry. Humans are not the most important. If you're on the left, humans aren't the most important creature on the planet. How dare you? Putting humans first.
Right.
We can do this all day. This is why they can't spend that money on expanding broadband. If you missed the story, they haven't been able to spend all of that money, billions of dollars, that they passed. The money is allocated. They can't spend it because of DEI. They haven't even, in a couple of years now, they haven't even broke ground on building the infrastructure for bringing broadband to people in rural areas because of DEI.
Yeah.
Because the DEI, it's a carousel of rules is what it is. Because, you already rode the carousel, get off. Somebody else has got to get on the carousel now.
Once the climate change regulations and the DEI regulations have been implemented, they can't find anybody who can actually do the work.
Right. They can't fulfill the DEI.
Yeah, they can't fulfill.
But there's no way to populate, because then you get into the contracts and everything else, how you actually spend government money, and there's no way to do that.
I just thought, they can't call us transphobic for making fun of hoo-hoo.
No, I'm human phobic.
Because they're admitting gender is not the most important thing.
Right.
So if you're a hoo-hoo,
you're
transphobic.
Yeah.
Tell us where we're wrong here.
Right.
Hey, we don't make these rules up.
It's different than hoo-ha, by the way.
Hoo-ha?
Yeah. Which is someone who is in favor of Al Pacino. Who cares?
Or if you think you're Michael Jackson, he.
Hoo-ah. Oh, my gosh. I just want to, please, somehow, somebody record a meeting.
I just realized, I know somebody, this happened about a month ago, and I completely forgot about it, because you know how quickly we scan.
Right.
Somebody I know put their gender identity, their pronouns on LinkedIn, and I haven't called them yet to go, what are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you playing this stupid game?
Right.
And I'll say this, as you know, we've been on this from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Without, fear, because it's stupid.
Right.
It's absolutely the radical transgender movement now has an organized opposition. It didn't for years that you and I were going after.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, at times we would sit here and say, is the wall of intimidation so great that people won't come out against this? Because I remember when you and I actually said, we're two guys, we've been talking about this for years. Why aren't the women upset? Women have to come forward if you're going to change this. And they finally have. Yeah. And now there's an organized opposition to it. But for God's sakes, we were sitting here when feminists were going, well, feminism is now a man defining what a woman is.
Yeah.
Oh, but she got hit with it the other day where it was some kind of ad on social media, women. It's like, well, tell me you can't tell us what a woman is.
Right.
This is the thing. The Democrats had no answer to this, and we were very upset at the Republicans for not expanding on this when Justice Jackson had her nomination hearing, and she was asked what a woman is, and she couldn't define it.
Right.
We said that's disqualification material right there.
Yep.
You cannot serve as a Supreme Court justice if you can't identify what a woman is. If you can't define a woman, how can you define women's rights?
Right.
And Republicans, for some reason, just let that one go.
Yep.
And you had this is what we've always said in any type of debate with the left. You need to nail them to the wall.
Every time.
Every single time.
Yep.
You give them no out. Because that's what I said. Well, how can my next question to her would have been, if you can not identify what a woman is, if you can't define it, how can you sit in judgment on any issue that comes up about a woman?
Right. Right.
Brain fry. And I could see what the answer would be. You asking that question is transphobic because somebody will commit suicide because you answered that question. Well, isn't that a convenient out? I can't answer any question. Eric and I will no longer answer any questions because somebody may be offended with our answer and commit suicide, so we shall be quiet from now on. I mean, that's their debate point.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, any dissent, again, silence is violence, but any dissent is also violence.
Yeah.
Any question is an act of violence.
But to the Harris campaign, thank you. Thank you so much for hoo-hoo.
Yeah, thank you.
You made our day, and you've just given Republicans another great talking point for the entire weekend to show how insane Democrats are. Mainstream, because she and Walz are viewed as mainstream and in the center. They, by using the pronouns to begin with, but hoo-hoo?
Yeah.
This is insanity. This shows you the insanity of the Democratic Party and how mainstream their insanity is. Hoo-hoo. What's a hoo-hoo? As I said before, is this Cat in the Hat comes back or what? Is this where they're getting their new talking points? Well, we don't know where to get our talking points anymore. We can't copy Trump. How about Cat in the Hat comes back?
Yeah.
For God's sakes. Hoo-hoo. What's a hoo-hoo? Oh, well, that means gender isn't the most important thing. Your humanity is. Well, that's transphobic because gender has to lead. It's a gender pronoun.
What about
you're eliminating the gender pronoun in it and putting in the humanitarian pronoun, which we didn't know there was even a humanitarian pronoun until now.
What about a yoo-hoo? Somebody who identifies as a chocolate drink. And don't say I can't.
Sorry. I went straight to Seinfeld. You drive Yoo-Hoo?
Yeah, exactly. For me,
that's the bubble boy.
Exactly.
The bubble boy defense.
For me, A Few Good Men.
Hoo-ah.
Bring whatever you want to eat. When Tom Cruise was telling the other lawyers, Kevin Pollak and Demi Moore, bring whatever you want to eat or drink because all I have is Yoo-Hoo.
I don't want to hear anybody saying, what's your pronoun? Hawk Tuah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to hear that.
No. Although it's probably already being used.
Jeez. Just pure insanity. But I love it, the Trump campaign. When Kamala finally gives an interview, can she explain what a hoo-hoo is?
Yeah.
Could you imagine
somebody...
Imagine if Republicans had anything like this, they'd be absolutely destroyed.
Please, please, please. Somebody make her explain it.
Yeah.
Just ask her the question.
It's on the application for your campaign. You have different pronouns. Could you explain a hoo-hoo?
And could you on a train?
That's woo-woo.
Oh, my gosh. Oh. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like hoo-hoo, ma'am.
I could not on a train. I could not on a plane. Wow. Yeah, put that on your passport.
Hoo-hoo?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What does it say? What? Yeah. Instead of other, on your TSA pre-check. They should go one step further and let you put whatever you want on there. Let's do that.
That was the problem with Tulsi Gabbard. If she would have had hoo-hoo on her, then they would know she was a humanitarian and not a terrorist suspect.
Free and clear. No problem.
Golly.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't believe. Can you believe we're talking about this crap? I mean, it's just,
think about that. Just those two things right there. TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
Male, female, other. She's a former lawmaker and an officer in the United States military, and she's the problem. If you put other, you don't even have to explain your identity.
Right.
We're doomed.
No update on that story yesterday, by the way. I did check.
No, none.
No update on the Tulsi Gabbard being on the terrorist watch list.
And by the way, that is my official pronouns. We're and doomed.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
Or, as we said before, M-A, ma/G-A, ga, MAGA.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I want to make America great again.
I want to see somebody put that on LinkedIn. I really do.
They may have already done it.
Is that hate speech?
It's probably banned by LinkedIn.
Probably banned. Probably considered hate speech.
Yep.
But who is hate speech? Because it puts
inciting liberal tears. That's what I think. That's the rule.
Yeah. Who is hate speech then? Because gender is secondary to your humanity. And gender is secondary in the identification of your identity, gender, pronoun.
Plus, you're placing humans at the top of the list on Earth. How dare you do that?
That's right. It should be the planet Earth.
Old growth trees. Earth first.
866. Sorry, folks. We're just we have to report the news and comment on it.
It's just this is how our brains work now.
Yeah.
They're just full, and you guys are just going to have to listen to us dump all of it because it's Friday.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howes Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Farm real estate values continue to increase year over year.
We're looking at an increase of $200 an acre over last year to an average of $4,170.
Up 5% year over year, according to USDA Chief Economist Seth Meyer. When land and buildings on farms are broken down by cropland and pasture land.
We look at cropland value. We're talking the average land value up to $5,570 an acre from $5,320 the year before. That's an increase of $250 an acre.
That's a 4.7% increase from 2023. Pasture land values rose $90 from the previous year. That 5.2% increase from last year reflects an average of $1,830 per acre. Meyer says while increased farmland values in 2024 are strong in the context of lower commodity prices and perceived unfavorable margins for this year's crops, they are not as strong as prior years. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Another example of why the Republicans have a much bigger chance of winning this November than Democrats. And this is swing voters. We'll have this story coming up following the bottom of the hour. Swing voters on domestic drilling. Swing state voters on domestic drilling. And finally, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz take some questions, but it's from each other. And it's very cringe-inducing.
Yeah.
They really are trying to make this thing that, everything is okay, and we're the nice people you can sit around and talk to.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It really is weird.
It is weird.
Links to everything Red Eye on the website, redeyeradioshow.com.
And he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Well, finally, they're taking questions. The Harris campaign. The only thing is they're taking questions from each other.
I told you.
This was both Kamala Harris and Walz sitting down, and the funny thing is the responses here. Let me just read you some of the responses before I even play it. Some of the responses. It's so good. Well, there's a ton of bots on here, a ton of campaign people, I guarantee.
Yeah.
But this is a criticism. The entire thing is scripted and so fake, doesn't resonate with anyone's soul. I love these two doing informal conversations. We get to see them as everyday people. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how, let me just get it. And then you got one in there saying, where do they stand on the policies? That's what I want to know. And it's like, nice to see them talk about how good America is and how good our people are instead of hearing the other side tell us how awful America is. Let me just get to, let me see. So good to hear the future president and vice president talk like real leaders without putting anybody down or making fun of someone. They do all the time,
Exactly.
But they're talking to each other. And here it is. So refreshing after hearing so much toxic name calling. Well, that's because they're on the same side.
Yep.
That was littered throughout the comments. Here it is. Two Americans having a conversation for America. Peaceful, respectful, and much needed. They're on the same damn side.
Exactly.
It's like, my God. Of
Right.
course. They're not arguing with each other. They're on the same side.
Right. You imagine Tim Walz starting the conversation. Ms. Harris, where do you get off?
Here it is. Here's part of it, though. Hang on. Let me just see him having. Well, maybe this is a blessing in disguise.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm having some problems. Let me just see if it comes up here. Here we go.
I talk about it being halftime in America. We're a touchdown down, and I kind of like the idea of being a little bit behind.
Well, I'm looking at Coach Walz right now. I'm looking at Coach Walz.
Wow.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota,
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand
We'll
my
figure that-
my food knowledge.
You know what? We've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, I called
was
you,
hoping
Tim.
maybe we wouldn't have to.
I called you, Tim.
Yes.
You didn't answer, Tim.
I know.
What happened?
The most important call of my life. It popped up, and we didn't recognize the caller ID, and it went to voicemail.
Hi, this is Jim. I'm not able to answer.
There you go.
Responsible. Thank you.
Hey, Tim, it's Kamala. I really want to talk to you.
It is an amazing privilege for me. Also, I'm excited. I just want to be part of the excitement that you're generating.
Well,
So,
we're doing it together, buddy.
fun.
We're doing it together. How have these last couple of days been for you?
And this is how it all went.
Yeah. Here's the reality. What they don't show you is when Tim Walz is standing there and his phone rings and he sees it's Kamala and he goes, jeez, it's her again. Let it go to voicemail. I'm not going to answer it. I'm not talking to her again.
Just like, we notice a difference in approach. No retribution. No personal insults. They're talking to each other. Do these people know? They might not even know. Right now, Democrats are so ignorant on the issues, they might not even
That's
know
a great point.
that Walz is running with Harris.
That is a great point.
I mean, they're talking about, well, how civil this conversation is between these two Americans.
Right.
They're in the same party. It's a political ad.
They're on the
running
same
to get tickets. What we have here, no more culture war, no more division. This shows our country at its best. I mean, this is, Dad, Dad, can you hear me in Buffalo? They want to be BS, Dad.
Just amazing.
Oh, wow. It's so great. Here's one. Missing the president's call because you don't recognize the phone number is so real.
Right. Right. Yeah. My daughter actually hung up on Willie Nelson one night. He called my house years ago. She thought it was a fake call. She answered the phone, though.
I told you when I got the job, just for a short time, I was a fill-in talk show host at our great affiliate, WLS in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the call. What happened is I got let go from my job, and that before I even went to sleep at night, I mailed out, shit, how long ago it was, mailed out a tape and resume to WLS. Well, the next morning, the phone rings.
Pony Express?
Overnight. And I'm talking 7:30, 8 o'clock, the phone rings. It's like, hey, this is the, it's a, I don't want to say her name, but I'll just say Diana, because that was her first name.
Mm.
And we got your tape and resume. The program director really wants to interview you.
Right.
Drew Hayes was the program director at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Drew worked for the company for a long time. And I thought it was fake. I thought it was my friend Mary who was over that night. We were doing resume stuff for her too. And I said, F you, Mary.
And hung up.
No, I just, like that, I said, stop it. I know this. I said, I know this isn't WLS calling. And she starts laughing. She goes, oh, you're really going to be embarrassed when you find out this really is WLS calling you. And it was.
My daughter, she was a teenager back then. Hi, this is Willie Nelson calling for Eric. Yeah, right. Click. He called right back.
Yes, I did get the job. But the interview, you know what the interview was?
To be clear, I did not buy any weed from Willie Nelson.
You know what my interview was? I went in there, and he simply introduced me to everybody saying, yeah, this is the guy that told Diana to F off yesterday on the phone call. We're going to hire him.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That true story really happened. But it's just hilarious here. I wonder how many bots are involved in this or how many campaign people. Because that was just
no, it's all basically the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Being
by the way, nothing on the issues. Nothing. We agree with this. We agree with this. Thanks so much. We know where you stand on the issues. Whatever. Right. And as we've said before, with the next week, as we know, is the Democrat National Convention. Mm-hmm. Here it is, right here. Swing. Did I say swing there?
I think it said swing.
Swing. Swing. Swing state voters support domestic drilling. Voters in several key swing states this November support domestic oil drilling. According to new polling data, the American Petroleum Institute commissioned the poll, but it was conducted by a reputable pollster, Morning Consult. Mm-hmm. Well, it all depends. They've been criticized about being too Democrat.
Yeah.
According to the poll, more than 90% of voters in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin are concerned about inflation. Voters in the electoral battleground states are concerned about inflation and are experiencing financial pain. They see a role for domestic natural gas and oil production in helping consumers and small businesses. The poll found that in the same 7 states, 80% or more voters agree that producing more natural gas and oil here in the United States can help lower energy and utility costs for American consumers and small businesses. About 70% or more of the voters in those same swing states oppose government mandates that would ban gas stoves, gas furnaces, or new gasoline, diesel, and hybrid vehicles. Experts estimate those regulations would increase costs significantly, while proponents of the rules point to health and climate concerns. Prices have risen more than 20% since Biden took office. That's why Harris came out and said she's pro-fracking.
Yeah.
Does any Democrat believe that? Does any Democrat? We've asked that question.
Of course they don't.
Since you put that out, no response.
Because if they
mail
did,
or anything,
if they did, then the radicals would be out there saying, "How dare you go pro-fracking?"
Right.
If they believed it.
Yeah. If they truly believe she was pro-fracking. Right. Well, that's the key next week with the DNC taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Will she, in her acceptance speech for the nomination of the Democratic nomination by the elite of the Democratic Party, without one Democratic voter voting to put her as the nominee, will she talk and say, I am pro-fracking, we need to take all of our natural gas and oil and use it and produce as much as possible? Will she say that? The campaign said it, as anonymous surrogates have said it, has been pointed out by Republican critics. But will she say it?
Right.
Will she say, I wish to close the border and we need a process only of legal immigration? Because she said she's going to be tougher on the border than Trump. Will she say that? Will she say that over and over and over again in the campaign?
She's going to have to say it if she's going to keep those ads out there. If the ads are going to promote it, if her campaign's going to keep saying it, then she has to say it at some point.
But every Democrat knows she's lying on it. Every Democrat knows it. You're listening to the show right now. You know she's lying on it.
Of course.
You know.
Otherwise, they'd be outraged.
Right. There's no outrage at all. None.
Magala, or that's someone told us it should be Magala instead of Kamaga. Which I think is, okay, all right. Either one. Kamaga would be rejected fully.
If she was pro-fracking.
If they believed it, the left would reject it.
Yep. Everyone knows everybody's in on it, just like they were with Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yep.
And so we're back to a situation again where everyone knows that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz know that they're lying. They know that the people listening to them know that they're lying.
Yep.
The people listening to them know that they're lying.
Yep.
Everybody knows that they're lying, and everybody pretends that it just isn't happening, because what they want to do is the exact opposite of what they want to promote in so many of the things where they've taken Trump's side on the issues. It's simply because they believe the American public are a bunch of idiots. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard said that yesterday on Fox News.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They believe that the American public is stupid. Look, Gruber said it.
Stupid American voter.
And we got Obamacare through because of the stupid American voter. And he meant Democrat because Republicans weren't for it.
Yep.
And so they view Democrat. If you're a Democrat, but you're okay. Democrats like the fact that their vote doesn't count. They like the fact that the Democrats that are running for office believe they're idiots. They're okay with it, which is a tough thing. That's how do you work against that? And you can't if you're Republicans. You can only go for the independents because the Democrats are a complete lost cause.
Right.
I can't imagine what kind of person, what kind of mind and soul do you have if you're okay with knowing that people, the political party that you vote for, thinks you're an idiot.
Right. And you're okay with it. But you know what? Look, we played the audio cut from people at her rally the other day where they couldn't even name anything she stood for or any of her signature agenda items. They don't know. And they don't care.
They don't care.
Nope.
We weren't surprised because it's all about identity politics and imagery.
Right.
That's what it's about. 866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So you understand now, we all understand why she has to lie about being pro-fracking, because when you see in the swing states that 80% of the voters believe that producing more natural gas and oil in the United States will bring lower energy and utility costs, and 70% of voters want no more government. They don't want government mandates on gas stoves, gas furnaces, gasoline cars, diesel cars, no mandates at all. 70%.
Yeah.
No wonder Trump's out there pounding it, and they need to be out there every day and be blunt. She's lying.
Yep.
She's lying to you.
Yep.
Because she is, and every Democrat knows she's lying, even though with those numbers, half the Democrats don't want the policies of the Harris-Biden administration either.
And the convention is next week. Wow.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.